that I'm okay, I've been better, not sure if it's paradise. And if it's the small things that matter, then maybe it's where it lies. But oh, we're looking for keys to this world. Left my high rise, looked back and said, oh, though I still believe that there's more to the sunrise. But sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the place. I go back cause I'm meant to. I lost count of the days. I get caught in my high life, still caught in my high life. Sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the place. I go back cause I'm meant to. I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, still caught in my high life. Will I be your number one? When it's love I'm coming from, never sure what's to come. Oh, though I'll be okay and get better, I'm not sure I'm satisfied. And there's still some parts of the truth that I hid, but you recognized. But oh, we're looking for keys to this world. Left my high rise, looked back and said, oh, though I still believe that there's more to the sunrise. But sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the place. I go back cause I'm meant to. I lost count of the days. I get caught in my high life, still caught in my high life. Sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the place. I go back cause I'm meant to. I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, still caught in my high life. Sometimes when I let go, lose track of the days. Still caught in my high life, still caught in the high life. Sometimes when I let go, lose track of the days. Still caught in my high
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. ground. But gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, I've come from far away. Take me home, back to yesterday. With you I wanna stay. Hold my heart, keep my love contained. I came so close to being there. My hopes are looking up, but can't see that far. When I sleep without your roses, I know it's not right, but the night is calling, the night's calling me. I don't wanna fight, and my city's drifting away. I know it's not right, but the night is calling, the night's calling me. I don't wanna fight, and my city's drifting away, away.
I said I'm okay, I've been better, not sure if it's paradise. And if it's the small things that matter, then maybe it's where it lies. But we're looking for keys to this world, left my high rise, looked back and said though I still believe that there's more to the sunrise. But sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the place. I go back cause I'm meant to. I lost count of the days. I get caught in my high life, still caught in my high life. Sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the place. I go back cause I'm meant to. said I'm okay, I've been better, not sure if it's paradise. And if it's the small things that matter, then maybe it's where it lies. But oh, we're looking for keys to this world, left my high rise, looked back and said oh, though I still believe that there's more to the sunrise. But sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in my high life, no, can't quit to the blaze. I call back cause I meant to, I lost count of the days. I get caught in the high life, still caught in the high life. Sometimes when I let go, I lose track of the days. I get caught in the high life.
and nobody is going to spoil it for them today. Let's run you through that Peruvian team then. Pedro Gallese is the goalkeeper. The back four of Miguel Trauco, Alberto Rodriguez, Christian Ramos, who scored 2 goals in that playoff against New Zealand just to get Peru to this World Cup final. He's the other centre half. And then Luis Advincula will play on the right-hand side of the back four. The 2 central holding midfielders who do have some craft about them as well. Yoshimar Yotun, who plays his football in the MLS for Orlando City, and Renato Tapia, who is in the Eredivisie playing for Feyenoord. Then the 3 ahead of them have plenty of pace as well. Edison Flores, Christian Cueva and Andre Carrillo will support Jefferson Farfan, who leads the line. 33 years of age now with 25 goals in his 84 international caps. He gets the nod ahead of Paulo Guerrero, of course, who is here after his drug suspension for an extra 2 months, was suspended by the Court of Arbitration in Switzerland after all 3 captains of the other teams in this group wrote to them saying that he should be allowed to play in this competition. Quite extraordinary, but Guerrero, who usually captains this Peru side, is only on the bench today. As for Denmark, first World Cup for them since 2010. Kasper Schmeichel starts in goal. Henrik Dausgaard from Brentford on the right. Simon Kjær and Andreas Christensen, of course, the Chelsea centre-half in the middle. Jens Stryger Larsen will play at left-back. The 2 holding midfielders are William Kvist and Thomas Delaney. Not the most Danish of names from Delaney, but I promise you he was brought up there, but his ancestry dates back to Ireland in the 1900s. Paulsen will play on the right of a 3. Eriksson in the centre, of course, that talisman with 12 goals in his last 13 international appearances. Pione Sister, you just heard Adrian and David talking about him. He's been magnificent for Celta de Vigo in La Liga this season. And Nikolai Jorgensen will lead the line, another man who plays at Feyenoord. No goals in his first 14 international caps. He's been in better form of late, but he's described by his coach as a man who lets the rest of the Danish team play. We're ready to go. And Denmark are all in red, kicking from right to left in the opening 45 minutes. Here on Talk Sport, we are into Game 2 in Group C. Already today, France have beaten Australia by 2 goals to 1, with all of that VAR controversy as well. Now a chance for Peru and Denmark to get their campaigns underway. And Peru, of course, are in those traditional all-white shirts, shorts and socks with that red stripe across that we've waited 36 years for to see it back in a World Cup final and on this world stage. And it's Denmark who've got possession midway inside their own half, away to our right-hand side, and the ball brought forward here by Christensen, who's of course excelled in the middle part of the season for Chelsea. Towards the end he did find himself relegated to the bench by Antonio Conte. However, he starts for Denmark today. That's a long ball forward up towards the edge of the penalty area. Paulsen takes it down on his chest with a little bun in his hair, is Paulsen, as that breaks towards halfway, and a chance now maybe for the South Americans to get forward here. And it's with Advincula on this right-hand side, just short of halfway. Comfortably plays the ball back into Christian Ramos at the heart of that Peru defence away to our left-hand side. And they'll come forward down the left once more with Trauco, and just a poor back pass there towards Alberto Rodriguez midway inside his own half, as the ball is launched forward this time, fairly direct by Yotun out to the right hand side. It's a decent ball as well for Andre Carrillo, who's away and tries to whip an early ball into the penalty area. It's blocked out on this near side by Larsen. It comes back though to Advincula on this right hand side. Ball back towards halfway where Renato Tapia will pick it up for Peru. They're trying to advance forward here in amongst the wondrous noise, and again the Peruvians get to their feet as that ball's swung towards the back post. It's kept in on this right hand side by Cueva, and he's headed clear at the edge of the 6-yard box by Kjær on that occasion. Player goes down in the box, referee waves it away. Bakary Gassama, the Gambian, is our referee today, and immediately not interested, and one would assume VAR would have a look at that as well.
Well, it's a super start, isn't it? Very high tempo to this game. Peru started ever so well, really confident. Just look at this replay here. Paulsen, I don't think there was much in that, but the crowd, very noisy, isn't it? Vuvuzelas are firing.
Thoughts of David Connolly, who's alongside, as we mentioned. former World Cup man, of course, with the Republic of Ireland, who were denied a place here in Russia by this Danish side in the playoffs, quite comfortably at home in that second leg as well. Some defending to be done here by Christian Ramos on this near touchline. Ramos, one of the many who play their football in Mexico in this Peruvian squad. There's a bit of shirt pulling there being done by Nikolai Jorgensen, and the free kick has gone the way of Peru and a chance to clear their lines away to our left-hand side.
Well, it was just an aimless ball forward by Denmark there. Jorgensen just a bit too aggressive on Ramos. It's a very, very good start from Peru. Very confident, don't they? Comfortable on the ball. I mean, I don't think that was ever in doubt. They're in such good form. I think this will be a really, really good game here.
We talk about good form. Both these sides unbeaten in their last 15 internationals. They both made terrific runs towards the back end of their qualifying campaigns, both early on in their attempts to qualify for Russia 2018. Both found themselves in a little bit of trouble. That's good work by Jorgensen down that right-hand side. Chance to get a decent ball into the box here if he can. It's along the ground and doesn't go beyond the first defender, who in this occasion is Christian Cueva. His ball forward, though, is knocked back into the danger zone around the edge of the Peru penalty area. Here's Dalsgaard, the Brentford fullback down the right-hand side. First influence on the game now for the Tottenham man, Christian Eriksen. And it's a lovely ball into Dalsgaard again, who lifts it into the penalty area. Just couldn't be taken down that time at the edge of the box by Delaney. And in the end, there's a foul and a free kick conceded by Delaney at the edge of the penalty area, and Peru have a chance to clear their lines.
Well, it's a good spell of pressure there from Denmark. Poor ball into the box though to Delaney, but lovely little skill, wasn't it? Invention from Eriksen.
4 fixtures to be held here in the Mordovia Arena in Saransk. As I mentioned, just over 44,000 is the capacity of this stadium. You can certainly hear the vuvuzelas and the party atmosphere all around. I think all of the Peruvians are on their feet, draped in flags, and the red and white everywhere to be seen.
Well, although they do play when they get the ball in the final third and the middle third, they're not really playing out at the back. It's the second time now they've had it from their goalkeeper, and they've both times looked long.
And they have, and they've got some purchase here inside the edge of the penalty area. Trying to get through on the end of it was Jefferson Farfan, couldn't quite get there, and the ball comes out to this near side, and it's lashed towards goal by Luis Advincola, but it's well over the top of the bar from all of 35 yards out. It was Christian Cueva who managed to just break through that Danish defence then, but some really good defending by Simon Kjær.
Cueva, he's the one, he's playing as a 10, similar to Christian Eriksen. Both teams rely heavily on those two players. Again, long ball up. Farfan done ever so well, didn't he, to win the first flick on.
Christian Eriksen already berating some of his teammates about the quality of service he's received in the opening 5 minutes here on Talk Sport, our third game of the day. All 4 of them live for you as we bring you all 64 across the Talk Sport network throughout this FIFA World Cup, of course. On that right-hand side, Jorgensen just closing down that time on Trauco and pushes the ball into touch, and it will be a throw for Peru, level with the edge of their own penalty area on that left-hand side. The ball up towards halfway, there's a foul there on Farfan and a free kick. And again, it's the Danish captain, Simon Kjær, making his 79th appearance for the national side today, but a real rock at the heart of that Danish defence.
Well, here they are, they look more comfortable, don't they, in the middle third, getting it down and playing. Because Denmark, they're a big side, they've got a lot of 6-footers, 6 foot plus. You just run the front to back like that, they're not really going to retain it.
That's the one thing you would say without Guerrero in the side. Farfan's not the type of player that will hold the ball up and bring other players in, is he?
That's right. I mean, he's probably, what, similar to my size, 5'8", 5'9". He'll do well.
That's generous.
That is generous, but he'll do well to win any sort of flick on here, but then they've got to gamble on those second balls.
Schmeichel with a poor clearance from the edge of his penalty area, only to halfway, and Carrillo away now with that pace to burn down the right-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Coming on the overlap outside him is Advincula, but he doesn't use him. Carrillo cuts inside, back then to Christian Cueva, who plays for Sao Paulo in Brazil. Some of his teammates not too complimentary about him in recent months. In fact, they called him one of the worst pros they've ever seen after a refusal to play and a few other misdemeanors in his time there, as the ball goes back to Schmeichel in the end, and it's cleared away for Denmark. But once more it's won on halfway by Peru and by Josimar Yuton, who then just gets that ball forward again and picks it up on a charge here. He's midway inside the half and he drills a shot straight at Kasper Schmeichel, who just gathers it at the second attempt. It was a long way out, but it was accurate, it had power, and Schmeichel had to get his body behind it.
Well, another super bit of play there from Peru. It's a long way out, as you say. Struck with a lot of pace though, wasn't it? Comfortable save though from Schmeichel, but it just shows you how confident they are. Peru started really well here, really bright.
Now it's Denmark's turn to attack, and they are level with the edge of the Peruvian penalty area, but once more our Cambian referee has pulled Jorgensen up for a foul, and it will be a free kick for Peru away to our left-hand side. So it is their first World Cup in 36 years, 1982 the last time they were eliminated in the group stages. They finished fourth in that table actually. They were a little more successful back in the heyday of the 70s, of course, where they reached the last 8. They lost to Brazil in 1970, and then of course in 1978, David, you may remember this, but I'm a little too young, it was the group stage in the quarterfinals as well, where they missed out. There's a little shake of the head there. You don't remember that,
well,
do you?
I think I was just learning to walk then. I was 1 year old, but no, don't quite remember that one.
Here comes Edison Flores, forward out wide down the left-hand side. Trauco's ball in is gathered by Schmeichel at the edge of the 6-yard box.
Well, another good ball into the box. I think that's the third cross they put in. Denmark just not getting tight enough in the full-back areas. Got to close the ball down.
Just a few clouds hovering above Saransk, about 18 degrees the temperature outside. Sun just beginning to drop down, of course. There's a foul there, and that's going to be another free kick, which Denmark will take, just about 10 yards short of halfway. Out wide on this left-hand side. First chance to see Larsen in a slightly more advanced position, the Udinese player, of course. Infield again to Christensen, up to halfway, where it's picked up by Thomas Delaney. Delaney now, who's just leaving Werder Bremen to go and join Borussia Dortmund. Around £16 million is the fee for Delaney. He's had a terrific season in the Bundesliga and has come into his own right for Denmark as well in recent months.
Well, just looking here at the Danish left-back Larsen, he does come infield, a bit like Pep Guardiola brought into Man City in terms of a full-back inverting. He's not staying wide, hugging the touchline like traditional full-backs. He's almost coming inside like another midfielder. That then means Sisto has to trigger and go wide on the wide.
There's a foul there by Newton on Eriksson that's been penalised, and Denmark try to benefit from this inside the penalty area. There's Jorgensen, but again another foul, and the referee whistle happy early on. There's a little shove there from Poulsen into the back that time of Trauco inside the penalty area, and that's why Peru get the free kick. We've had almost 10 minutes here on Talk Sport. It's Peru 0, Denmark 0. Here's the thoughts of David Collum.
Yeah, it's a really good start, especially from Peru. Very positive. It's the first time here, though, that they might take it short from the goalkeeper and look to play out.
Both these sides ranked highly by FIFA right now, 11 and 12 the last time those rankings were out. Here is Carrillo towards the edge of the penalty area for Peru. Gets support again on the right-hand side by Advincula. Into Carrillo again, he tries to turn at the edge of the box. Or lovely little layoff towards Carrillo again, but the ricochet falls fortuitously for Denmark, and it's cleared by Schmeichel from the edge of his 6-yard box. But it's straight into touch on this near side.
Well, I'm not sure why Schmeichel's done that. I mean, he's saying almost that he wasn't sure whether he could pick the ball up. It wasn't a back pass, I'm sure he could have done. Just again a sign of, I think, a bit of uncertainty in the Danish side here.
Another shot from distance here, this time on the left foot of Edison Flores from about 30 yards out, and it just fizzes over the top of Schmeichel's crossbar away to our right-hand side. There's a shoot-on-sight policy for these Peruvians.
Well, that's right, they're not shy, that's for sure. Obviously up against a top keeper in Schmeichel, but to me they look so confident, look, and they look really happy. They're enjoying this, they really are.
Ricardo Gareca is the man in charge. He's an Argentinian, 60 years of age. He took over in March 2015. Has a bit of history, though. Back in 1986, he actually scored a goal for Argentina against Peru in qualifying for the Mexico World Cup that denied them a place, but he's had some redemption. I'm not too sure they were too keen on the idea of him being in charge when he was first appointed, but the fact he's got them to this first World Cup in 36 years has almost made him into a bit of a hero. He used to play with Maradona as well at Boca Juniors, and Maradona was in attendance earlier this afternoon in our second game of the day, of course, when Argentina drew with Iceland by 1-0 by one each in Moscow, where Lionel Messi missing that penalty with a chance to secure all 3 points for Argentina. The other two teams, of course, in that group, Group D, are in action once we're finished here That's Croatia and Nigeria. Here's Carrillo on a run inside the penalty area, curls a left-footed shot, and it was heading to the bottom corner, and Schmeichel does well to go down and punch that ball away, and Denmark will now try and counter, but it's a terrific stop from Schmeichel and a wonderful run again on this near side from Andre Carrillo.
Super stop, as you say, just palmed it out, but Peru again looks so bright. We spoke about it, I think, didn't we, before the game, in terms of their fullback areas for Denmark. They're not totally convincing out there. I know Dalsgaard, obviously everyone will know from Brentford. Larson, they're just not getting tight enough. They look really, really susceptible out wide, Denmark.
Well, we're seeing nothing in the attacking areas at all from Denmark. Here's a chance maybe for Sisto, but he's taken down inside the centre circle, and that's going to be a free kick. They foul that time from Renato Tapia, using a fair bit of him in the Eredivisie as well. He holds that position in the middle of the park for Peru well. Now here is Strider Larsen on this near side on the attack for Denmark, edge of the penalty area. Christian Eriksen facing away from goal though, as that's lifted in this time by Delaney, half cleared from around the penalty spot by Rodriguez, and away eventually up towards halfway. Farfan just lets the ball bounce off him a little too far, but it's broken quite nicely for Peru on this right-hand side, just short of halfway. Andre Carrillo gets the ball infield and up and over halfway, and the attack now moving quite nicely forward here. It's helped on its way by Yotun, out wide to the left-hand side. Trauco on a charge. Infield he goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Cueva was waiting for it. Again, another long-range effort takes a deflection, this time off care from Tapia, and spins out of play for a corner on the left, the first of the game for Peru.
Well, the pressure is building. Farfan for Peru has been superb. He's playing that lone striker role ever so well. He's strong. Look, it's not his normal game. I think Peru as well, they like to play 4-4-2, but at the minute he's that lone striker. It's coming up to him, he's making it stick, he's laying it off. It's been that platform for Peru to build. What a start this is from Peru. They just need a goal now.
This is what confidence of 15 games unbeaten does for you. It's a national record as well. Used to be 12, their record, so this is terrific stuff. As that swung over and the header down is from Alberto Rodriguez, but not enough purchase on it or direction. In fact, it's just about crept over the goal line and out of play for what will be a goal kick to Denmark away to our right-hand side. A reminder, after our feast of 4 games today, it's a famine tomorrow, just the 3 in total. We'll have all of them for you live here on Talk Sport. Costa Rica against Serbia gets us underway in Group E. That's followed up by the entry of the defending champions, Germany taking on Mexico in Group F, and we end the day with a bit of Brazil against Switzerland as well. Another day full of terrific World Cup action for you, and it's all right here on Talk Sport. There's a foul there again by Renato Tapia inside the centre circle. It's another free kick for Denmark. Not being allowed to take this one quickly though by Peru, who've just held on to the ball to prevent them.
Well, they've been really aggressive in that central area. Tapia, Yotun, very aggressive, trying to win that ball back early. Done it ever so well. And look, and their main man's on the bench. It'd almost be like Ronaldo for Portugal being on the bench. They've got Guerreiro there who can come on and make a difference.
Well, I'm going to assume he's not started because, of course, he has had a fair old time out of football and only a couple of friendlies. Here is Advancula at the edge of the penalty area, goes down as he was trying to race through, and the referee gives the corner. No hinder, a free kick. Andreas Christensen is claiming that he didn't get the final touch, and actually, Christensen's right on this occasion, so surely you feel that decision may be overturned, because that should be a goal kick this time round.
Well, Christensen is adamant, and he's right. Should be a goal kick. I think the referee has changed it.
And he has the decision of VAR. There's a lot of thumbs up going round to the referee. Firstly by Advancula to say you made a good decision, and then secondly by the Danes when the decision was reversed. I've been looking for these inflatable llamas in the crowd. Have you seen any so far?
Not yet, no, but my eyes are peeled. I'll let you know.
If you spot any vuvuzelas, you know what to do with them as well. Admittedly, they do add to the atmosphere. I just don't think the Peruvians need them here. It's Eriksen in field. He gives the ball short to William Kist, one of his first touches in the game for Denmark in the heart of the midfield. That ball lost that time by Peru on halfway, but they'll counter again now. Down this right-hand side, Christian Cueva towards the edge of the penalty area. On his right foot, just tried to play the ball through to Jefferson Farfan, who'd made a decent run inside the penalty area, but it was blocked off, and it will be cleared again by Christensen on this near side. But he's taking his time to clear because he's not happy about the options ahead of him. Well,
Denmark just haven't clicked. That time Jorgensen lost possession, wasn't aware of what was around him. Cueva, though, could have gone for goal, couldn't he? Been a bit more selfish, more direct. I don't think the pass was on, but more signs, ominous signs for Denmark here. Peru has started so well.
Not been long that Sisto, who won the ball there for Denmark really nice, has been allowed to play for Denmark. 2014 he got his passport, despite living in the country from around about 2 months of age. It took a while to get clearance, but he's one of their better attacking players, and he's got the ball here, 25 yards out from goal, towards the edge of that Peruvian penalty area. It breaks to Eriksson, back to Sisto again, out wide down the left-hand side is Jens Stryger Larsen. He's level with the edge of the penalty area, looking to cut back onto his right foot. He gives it to Sisto, who looked to be shaping up for a shot, then goes on a run down the left-hand edge of the box. He's done well. He finds Thomas Delaney, and that's a really good challenge coming in from Advin Kula, who concedes the first corner of the game to Denmark.
It's the first time we've seen Sisto on the ball. He's got really quick feet, fantastic footwork, done well there, just got the ball to the byline. First real time we've seen Denmark in the Peruvian box. They are a big side as well.
Well, that's going to be the issue here. There isn't too much height in this Peru side. They will try and mark up best. Tapia is covering Poulsen on the goal line. Of course, it'll be Christian Eriksen. So devastating from set pieces time and time again for Spurs, and with his 11 goals in qualifying as well for Denmark. Of course, he provided more too. Referee just making it very clear about contact within the penalty area. Of course, he's watching. The VAR referee is watching as well. He's from Germany. As Eriksson does swing this one towards the back post. There's a shove on the keeper, and the free kick is given immediately. Pedro Gallese went down immediately, and it's a little arm out, the left arm stretched out of Andreas Christensen, that's been penalised by the referee.
Well, you can see the referee there making sure on the marking, because obviously Peru know, they realise they've got a height advantage here, Denmark. The likes of Christensen, Gjer, Delaney, they're all big. Kvist, Jørgensen, a lot of height.
Thoughts of the former Republic of Ireland international, that 2002 World Cup we were talking about earlier. It's David Connolly who's alongside here on TalkSport. We've had 90 minutes of this game in the Mordovia Arena in Saransk. It's Peru 0, Denmark 0. Sisto does well to win that ball in the middle of the park, and Denmark just beginning to get a foot in the game as Kjær goes forward with a fairly direct ball for Jørgensen to chase down this left-hand side. He's heading towards the corner flag. He's being tracked all the way that time by Christian Ramos. It just opens up a bit of space for Sisto to lay the ball inside the penalty area to Larsen, and now Sisto tries to get a shot away. It's deflected and is cleared from the edge of the 6-yard box. There was a half an appeal for a handball there. And I think the free kick's been given for a foul on halfway. Simon Kjær with the little shove that time on Jefferson Farfan.
Well, there's no need, Kjær, to do that. It's not for the first time. 2 or 3 fouls now he's given away on the halfway. Obviously, he knows Farfan is quick. He's got to mark him tightly, as opposed to Jørgensen for Denmark. Doesn't really have that pace. Anytime a long ball goes forward, he does need support. That time it was Sisto again. Fantastic feet.
Simon Kjær probably should know better. He was in the World Cup squad back in 2010. On that occasion, he got suspended actually. He made 2 appearances but missed one of the games, having picked up a couple of yellow cards. And now there's a heavy discussion here between our referee, Mr. Gassama, and Andreas Christensen, because there's another foul here for a shove really off the ball, and the free kick has gone Peru's way, and this could be a dangerous position for them. It was Ramos's ball forward, and Farfan was trying to chase and has run into Christensen, and it's midway inside the Denmark half that this free kick's been given.
Well, it was just a block off. I think you saw him coming, Christensen, just got across him. It's a good foul. Look, it's 40 yards out here. You'd fancy Denmark to defend this well.
On the banks of the Insar River, this stadium. It's a city that's been almost taken over by Peru since yesterday morning. Left-footed ball swung into the penalty area, then looking towards the back post. It's bouncing down at the edge of the 6-yard box, and it has to be headed away by Christensen. Out wide to Carrillo on that far side, and the whistle goes from the referee, and it's the offside flag that's been raised on this near touchline, and it'll be a chance for Denmark to clear their lines. We're heading to the midway point of the first half here on TalkSport. It's Peru 0, Denmark 0, but certainly the Danes just coming into the game a little more in the last few minutes.
Yeah, well, it was a slow start from them. Peru just flew out of the blocks. Just wonder, can they keep that tempo up? So a lot of this Danish side playing Europe will be used to playing at a very, very high tempo. You fancy they'll be able to sustain it maybe a little bit longer. I think Peru need a goal. In this spell, they will need a goal.
Edge of the centre circle is Christensen, just inside his own half for Denmark. All in red as they advance over halfway. Happy to have a little bit of time in possession of the ball. They do play a little bit more direct under the previous boss, who was there for 15 years, of course, Morten Olsen. It was very much about playing lots of neat passing football. However, it's been a bit more direct since Herrera took charge, and well, it's been successful for them. Olsen was removed after they failed to qualify for the Euros. That was in 2016 when they lost out in the playoffs to Sweden. And as I mentioned, they started quite badly. They lost 2 of their first 3 qualification games before going on a 7-game unbeaten run, including a 4-0 thumping of Poland, which allowed them to finish second in that group. And then, as we mentioned earlier, sorry to keep mentioning it, beat the Republic of Ireland in the playoff to qualify.
Well, what they've done here, Peru, which Ireland didn't do, is they've kept Eriksson quiet, at least for the first 22 minutes here. He's barely been on the ball.
Here's the throw. It's going to be a long one as well. It's level with a penalty spot out wide on that right-hand side. It's launched forward here for Denmark, inside the box, and it's a decent header away again by Alberto Rodriguez. Back out wide by Sisto on that far side. He's trying to find William Kvist, who stayed out there, having delivered that ball into the penalty area. But Peru have managed to get it away, and they will play it out from the back this time, and off of Poulsen. They'll get themselves a throw on that far touchline. But Kerr has read that situation nicely and rockets forward to halfway and nods a downward header into the Peruvian half. But they win the ball back now, and that ball forward towards the advanced run of Farfan is a little bit wasted. And it's easy for Schmeichel to sweep up at the back for Denmark.
Well, just a bit of miscommunication there. Farfan had made a run into the channel.
Croatia against Nigeria to come in Group D later, the last of our 4 games. 12 hours of live football from Russia, all on TalkSport today, and we'll go again tomorrow with 3 more live group games, of course. And remember, England get that campaign underway on Monday. Just prior to that as well, the other 2 teams in the group, Belgium and Panama, will kick off their campaigns. That game over on TalkSport 2 with Mick McCarthy in the commentary box. Here's a corner on the far side, and it's for Denmark. They work the ball nicely down that right-hand side, and Jorgensen happy to take the deflection on that occasion off Trauco, and it's out for a corner on the Danish right.
Well, they're definitely growing into the game now, Denmark. Good passage of play, they're building through the thirds. Another corner, again, they're going to have to mark really well here, Peru.
And 10 goals conceded to set pieces by Peru in qualifying. It is a problem for them. We've talked about the height issue.
Well, what they are doing is they're man marking here, so you just wonder whether they'll try and get a block on somewhere.
Eriksson to deliver from the right-hand side. It will, of course, on this occasion be an outswinger. Plenty of movement in and around that penalty area. Kerr's there at the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's headed behind comfortably this time by Jefferson Farfan, who's back defending, and it will be another corner from the right-hand side.
And that was one aiming for Poulsen at the near post.
In fact, it was Tapia that got his head on it, so they've done their job well so far. We have seen some poor defending from set pieces so far in this tournament, but that was fairly decent that time round from Peru. Here's Eriksson with the follow-up corner, and Kerr tries to win it, but Alberto Rodriguez gets it away, and they'll look to try and counter. But on this occasion, there's enough red shirts back as Sisto feeds it out wide again to Eriksson, who swings the ball towards the back post, but he's overhit that by 5 or 6 yards straight out of play, and Peru will have a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 25 minutes gone, 0-0.
It's a waste, as you say, from Eriksson. We've only really seen him on set pieces. That time, as you say, overhit the cross.
And we talked about the routes here. It was a tricky one for Peru to get here. 7 games into what is a mammoth qualifying campaign. It's 18 games to qualify from the South American group. After 7 of those matches, they were 9th of the 10 sides, and they'd just been beaten 2-0 by Bolivia, when it turns out that against Chile, Bolivia had fielded an ineligible player, and they also did that in that victory over Peru. The tie was turned round into a 3-0 win for Peru, and from there they never looked back. They lost 2 of their following 9 qualifiers and found themselves quite comfortably in 5th spot, as that's driven in just over the top of the bar from Delaney from long range. First real sight at goal for Denmark. It's from 25 yards, and it was always well over the top from Delaney.
It was worth a strike. There wasn't a lot on. Just high and handsome there over the bar. Just got over it slightly. Straight into the camera. Fantastic. What an image that is.
Well, we mentioned about the face painting of the Peru fans with the white faces and the sash across. Well, the Danish flag as well is very evident on some of the Great Danes who have made their way into watched this fixture and journeyed down into the Republic of Mordovia. We're in the capital of it here in Saransk. Farfan's been penalised here. It's a little outstretched right arm into the face of William Kvist in the middle of the park. He's one who does play his football in his homeland, Copenhagen to be precise. He started 11 of the 12 World Cup qualifiers and has become fairly pivotal in the heart of that midfield. They do have a few older players in this Danish squad. David and I were talking earlier on about Michael Krohn Deli, who you may recall, 35 years of age now, still playing his football at Deportivo La Coruña, but he wasn't even getting a look in the squad during qualifying, and only when they picked the initial 30 for the World Cup did he suddenly reappear.
Absolutely, and there's a shot there, Lasse Schöne from Ajax warming up in case Kvist might be struggling, but he seems okay.
The players are spread far and wide around Europe, this Danish team. Here is Sisto on halfway. He's having to come really deep to get any kind of possession here.
Well, that's the sort of movement, almost Guardiola-esque in terms of the fullback playing inside and then Sisto dropping deeper to then become the fullback. I think we saw it at the start of the season. It's a trait that Guardiola brought into Barcelona, then into Man City. I'm not quite so sure it's working here, to be honest, with Denmark.
Christian Ramos getting a decent ball forward, and now a chance here in the edge of the penalty area, and the shot driven in as he rode into the box by Jefferson Farfan, and he was tracked all the way by Simon Kjær, and he needed to be. It fell quite fortuitously there for Peru, but he got his shot away. It was definitely on target until Kjær got across it.
Well, magnificent movement from Farfan, another run across the face. Previously Christensen got across and blocked it, not that time.
Another corner for Peru, out wide on this right-hand side. Here's Cueva getting towards the byline, taking on Eriksson, holds it up nicely, chance to cross, but instead he feeds it back here to Carrillo, swings that one in, and it's actually, I think, Yuton that may have swung it in on his left foot, and it's headed away by Jorgensen, who's back doing the defending. They just messed around a little there. I thought they could have put some pressure on, maybe delivered a little earlier.
Well, possibly. I think they look up in the box and they see the height that Denmark possess, and obviously they're trying to work something short, maybe a little bit clever. Just move Denmark around a little bit.
Taken short this time to Edison Flores. The throw comes out to Advincula. Here is Flores again, always looking so busy and hurried with those quick feet of his. Just touch back towards halfway, and they'll come again this time with Alberto Rodriguez down that left-hand side with Christian Cueva. Now the ball picked up on that far touchline, and advancing forward this time is Carrillo again. They've just swapped over for the moment, he and Flores, although Flores has now moved back over to that far side as well. Here's Carrillo towards the edge of the penalty area. Fell out of favour after Marco Silva departed Watford. Only made 2 appearances in the back end of the season for Javi Gracia, and hence why I think he's probably going to find his way back to Benfica and maybe then look elsewhere. On that far side, Trauco coming forward in towards the edge of the centre circle where Christian Cueva was waiting, but a good interception again by Thomas Delaney for Denmark, and it's back with Schmeichel away to our right-hand side. One real save of the game has been Kasper Schmeichel so far, to deny Carrillo, who's on the ball again on that far side and advancing over halfway. We've had half an hour on Talk Sport. Peru 0, Denmark 0. Oh, it's picked up by Denmark now down the right-hand side. Paulsen out wide to Eriksson. Eriksson immediately closed down by Tapia on that far side, and he's ball in his paw, and it comes all the way back on the right-hand side to Dalsgaard, who finds Eriksson again. Immediately, Tapia blocks him down. We mentioned before the game it might not be Tapia that does a man-to-man job on him, but it appears it is.
Well, I don't think he's doing man-to-man, but I think at the start I said he'd just get very, very close to him. I don't think they can afford to man-mark him, to be honest. He's not doing that, but he's just always in his eye line, in the periphery. So when he does receive, he's there, he's on him, he's the first one. And look, he played a lot of this season at the back for Feyenoord, so you know, he's used to doing that sort of defensive-minded role, and I think it suits him.
0-0, 31 minutes played. A reminder coming up later, Croatia against Nigeria. 4th game of the day. That one from Group D here on Talk Sport. Already in Group D today, it finished Iceland 1, Argentina 1, and in this group, Group C earlier, and it was a real early start today, France beating Australia by 2-1. William Kvist is down, not for the first time in this game. He's felt some discomfort, and this has come from I think a knee into the ribs when Jefferson Farfan and he went up for a header earlier, and now he's feeling a little more discomfort. A funny feeling this may be the end of the game for him.
It could be. Lasse Schöne warming up again. I mean, completely different player to Kvist. Kvist obviously likes to keep it, break it up, keep it simple. Lasse Schöne is a real playmaker. He'll get Denmark moving, he'll switch the play, open the pitch up. Excellent at set pieces. Hasn't really, though, figured as much this season for Ajax as he would have liked, but just looking at that shot again. Yeah, as you say, Kvist maybe took one in the ribs.
Really was a fairly hefty blow on the left-hand side of Kvist's ribcage as he went up for that. He looks like he's going to be all right to continue for the time being. We've talked about the hysteria here in terms of these Peruvian fans and the journeys they've all made to be in Russia. It did all kick off quite early, actually, when the Panini sticker album came out in Peru. There was a mayoral candidate who was trying to influence people for votes by offering packets of stickers. There were fights in shops, you name it. And also one of the players who's on the bench today, Pedro Aquino, was a little bit distressed because he wasn't in the Panini sticker album until someone pointed out to him that it was only 18 players they could have, and not to worry, he would still be in the World Cup squad. It really is the moment of a lifetime. Kvist is getting put on a stretcher now on that far side, so for the moment Denmark are down to 10 men, and Herrera, the coach of this Denmark side, he's a Norwegian as well, 64 years of age, but he's going to have to make his first change of the game. They're on the attack though at the moment with Sisto on this near side. He's supporting Stryger Larsen, and they've done well here to find Jorgensen, who's level with the edge of the 6-yard box but out wide on this left-hand touchline. Ball back in towards Sisto. Sisto is forced back again to the feet of Eriksson. Eriksson puts it wide here to Jorgensen, but when Jorgensen's wide, there's a real lack of options inside the penalty area for Denmark. In the end, he cuts it back towards the edge of the box where Eriksson was waiting, but it will be cleared by Ramos and away on this near side for Peru.
Well, he did well with Jorgensen, but to me that's where their system isn't quite working at the minute. Sisto's dropping out as a fullback, and really you want him delivering for Jorgensen, not the other way around. It's not quite fluid, is it, at the minute for Denmark?
Simon Kjær finds Andreas Christensen inside the centre circle. 11 minutes to go to half-time here on Talk Sport. The FIFA World Cup 2018 from Russia. All 64 games live across the Talk Sport network. This is game 3 of what's been an eventful day so far. A win for France over Australia, and Argentina held by the debutants Iceland. One of 2 debutants in the competition, of course, Panama the others, who are in action on Monday in England's group. Here is Eriksson forward down the left-hand side. Out wide again on this near touchline where it's picked up by Stryger Larsen. And this time round he's been dispossessed. And now Peru with a chance to break maybe. Farfan goes down and he's committed the foul in the eyes of the referee, who's only yards away, on Christensen. And it's going to be a free kick to Denmark.
Well, in the first 20 minutes those balls were sticking, weren't they, for Peru, going into Farfan. He was linking well. Now they just look a little bit tired, a bit laboured, Peru. Ball's coming back as soon as it's going forward. Here's that substitution.
Well, they've finally been able to make the change. Lasse Schöne will come on. As you mentioned, you've seen a fair bit of him in Dutch football this season, but he's not played as much as he's wanted to, has he?
No, but look, he's a terrific player when he's on form. Completely different player, though. He'll get him playing. He's got a lovely range of passing, can switch the play. Excellent at dead ball situations.
Well, as we saw for Russia on the opening day, sometimes an injury like that can just open things up because it makes you just change personnel, and in the end you then change your tactics. And Chudisev did quite well when he came on as a substitute for the host in that opening game. Maybe we'll see a similar kind of impact here from Lasse Schöne. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Peru 0, Denmark 0 in Saransk. They have possession again with Simon Kjær playing his football in Sevilla. He's been on a fair trip around Europe. He's played in Italy, played in Germany, in France, in Turkey, as well, of course, as his time right now in Spain. Peru on the counter, trying to use that pace and get forward through Edison Flores down the left. Now into a central area where, again, possession just being picked up by the Danes off the feet of Farfan, who's just taking his time to shift the ball. And now from midway inside their own half, here's Delaney.
Well, he does look like he's showing his age at the minute, Farfan. He started really, really brightly. I just wonder at some point they'll bring on Guerra. I hope they don't make the same mistake Egypt did in terms of leaving Salah on the bench. I think when this game, if it does stay like this, maybe getting Guerrero on if he can.
Offside flag's gone up there against Jorgensen, about 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area. And the assistant on the far side, and he's just offside. That will be a free kick for Peru, who've not really offered too much going forward in the last 10 or 15 minutes. We'll look to try and pick things up as we head towards half-time. Farfan scored 14 goals in the Russian league in the domestic campaign this season, so he has been in pretty good form. I think also he'll go down as probably one of the few players that's ever caused an earthquake by scoring a goal. When he did score against New Zealand in that playoff game, they measured the tremors back in Lima of the celebrations, and they were of earthquake magnitude apparently. Here's Sisto on a run towards the edge of the penalty area for Denmark as he trips at the edge of the box. It is a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area, and it's going to be the first yellow card of the game, and it's given to Renato Tapia, and here's an opportunity now for Denmark right on the edge of the box.
Well, he has looked like the man most likely, Sisto. That time he received the other side of Tapia, he couldn't get back. Cynical challenge right on the edge of the box, another yard or two in, it would have been a penalty. It's in a perfect position, isn't it, this for Eriksson? Probably 1 yard outside the box.
A nudge onto the right knee of Sisto as he was on a roll. Eriksson is indeed over the top of this ball. He is, of course, orchestrating things. That probably comes as no great surprise. The Peruvians are preparing a wall. Looks like they're going to have maybe 5 or 6 in it in total.
I just wonder whether some sides will look at these players, the likes of Ronaldo and Eriksson, who are so proficient at set pieces, and just do something different. Maybe put someone on the line, and I don't know, maybe not have so many in the wall. Obviously, when the goalkeeper's eye line is blocked, it really struggles.
I mean, it really would suit a left footer, but I think I was saying that when Russia scored their 5th goal against Saudi Arabia. The quality we've seen on free kicks so far, before we even get into Ronaldo territory from last night, has been fairly extraordinary. Eriksson looks the favourite. There's 6 in the Peruvian wall. It's a yard outside the box. Chance maybe for Christian Eriksen to make his mark on this World Cup, and it's straight into the wall, but then it's driven from distance and has to be saved on the follow-up by Pedro Gallese. And they escape the follow-up shot there, coming in that time from Schöne. And it was blocked, I think, off the chest that time of Alberto Rodriguez. It has to be said, Eriksson, who hasn't been in the best of form for free kicks in the Premier League for Spurs. It's been a wee while since he popped one of those in, but he did so, of course, with style in the Champions League. And now a chance up the other end, maybe for Farfan, who tries the shot, but actually he's been penalised for a foul at the edge of the penalty area. And it's going to be a free kick this time round for Denmark.
Well, it's disappointing, wasn't it, the free kick from Eriksson? I just wonder whether he would go under the wall like he did against Juventus. Really bright that time. It wasn't over and it wasn't under. It was straight in the midriff. The Peru player. They did jump as well. I think it was on. He could have gone under the wall.
Opportunity maybe wasted. Not quite then of the calibre which we saw from Russia, and also, of course, from Cristiano Ronaldo in that marvellous game of football yesterday evening. This lacking the goals and maybe some of the skills that were on show, but still a decent game with 5 minutes to go to half-time. Peru 0, Denmark 0 on Talk Sport. Schmeichel has it at the edge of his penalty area, away to our right-hand side. One more game to come today, of course. Croatia against Nigeria. Final game of the day, match number 4. Day of football heaven, really, you'd probably say. Schmeichel still the ball at feet, out wide on this left-hand side. He brings Delaney into the game. He knocks it forward towards Poulsen. We've not seen too much of him out wide on the right-hand side for Denmark. He may get a chance now, though, but this time Eriksson goes direct into the penalty area. It's not the best header away that time inside the box by Carrillo. Actually, I think the header was from Advancula, and then Poulsen does try a shot, and it's a fairly wayward one from the edge of the penalty area. Maybe Poulsen tried to get on the end of Delaney's effort, actually. And I think it took a little bit of a deflection, did it? But it's out of play. I'm sure that came off a white shirt. And with 4 minutes to go to half-time, we're no nearer the deadlock being broken.
Well, shooting is not Delaney's strength, you can see that. It's the second time now he's had a shot. It's missed the target. Might be better, though, trying to find a player in the box. Just being a bit cleverer. That's where they've struggled, haven't they, around the edge of the box, Denmark, in terms of their play.
It's funny you say that. He waited 4 years for his first international goal, and then he scored 4 in the space of 4 days during qualifying. That was against Armenia, though. I think we're talking at a slightly different level here today. Renato Tapia just gives away possession inside the centre circle. Picked up again on that far side by Poulsen, who goes back towards halfway where Dalsgaard is there. And now on towards Eriksson. That's run out of play on the far side, and that will be a throw into Peru midway inside their own half. 3 minutes to go to half-time, and both coaches, I suspect, being 0-0 at half-time, will have an element of satisfaction.
I think so. I think Peru, look, with the start they made, I think they'll be disappointed they didn't capitalise and maybe nick a goal. But as it is, they faded actually as the half's gone on now. I think they'll be looking forward to this whistle. Get back in, regroup, get some energy back in their legs.
Carrillo gets it back towards Christian Ramos, away to our left-hand side. He was part of this team, of course, that got third place in the Copa America in 2011 and 2015. So despite being away from the World Cup arena in their own South American tournament, they've performed quite well. I think that was where expectation was coming. It's certainly been on their travels that they've struggled in the past, and the victories over Croatia and Iceland in the warm-up games ahead of the World Cup were their first over European opposition in Europe for like 19 years. It's been a fair while for Peru to travel well, but that's the work that Ricardo Gareca has done in charge of this Peruvian team. Lovely bit of build-up play here to Cueva, towards the edge of the penalty area, lets it run, Advíncula inside the box, tees it up against the edge of the penalty area for Cueva, who goes down and appeals for a penalty, waved away by the referee. Absolutely no interest inside the box. And there's fury amongst the Peruvians in the crowd. Remember, there are over 44,000 here. Most of them have made the journey either from South America or are supporting Peru. And that's the frustration. But one would assume VAR has had a look at that and decided that it is no penalty. Although he's now put his arms up in the air. And he's making the TV screen, is Cueva. And I think the referee's going to come over and have a look at it himself, is he? Or is it a dive? David, your views?
Well, he stopped the ball. To me, it is a dive. It's gone to ground. I think it's Poulsen, leaves a trailing leg, but I don't think it's caught him. He's going to have a look here.
Well, he's been invited then by our VAR official, Mr. Felix from Germany, to have a look at this again and make the decision for himself. He initially waved it away. And the point is, it's a little pullback and a decent one by Cueva. Does he make contact?
I think he does with his trailing right leg, Poulsen. I think he does just make contact with his right foot as it's coming down. I think it is a pen.
He does make contact, and that should be a penalty. There's the signal, and there is the penalty kick that goes Peru's way. In the final minute of the first half, by VAR, the foul has been given, and it is a penalty to Peru.
Well, Cueva, he's the main man, isn't he? It's one who makes him tick. He's got that ability. Stopped it, sucked Poulsen in, just with his trailing leg. He's caught Cueva on his right foot. It didn't look, I mean, it was hard to see, wasn't it? But just as his foot came down.
It's a terrific bit of skill.
Yeah,
and then Poulsen makes clear contact on the right boot of Cueva. Referee showed absolutely no interest until advised by Mr. Felix in the VAR room that it was most definitely a penalty.
Well, Cueva, he's the penalty man. Scored 4 in qualifying, 2 penalties.
Well, he made the Copa team of the tournament back in 2015. As I mentioned at Sao Paulo, he's not too popular over his attitude, but he's loved by his national side. Now a chance for Christian Cueva to mark his name in Peruvian football history. 36 years they've waited for this moment to score a goal in the World Cup, and the chance comes from 12 yards. It's Cueva against Kasper Schmeichel, and he will take it right-footed, and he puts it over the bar. It's a terrible penalty. It's an awful miss from Christian Cueva. It wasn't even close. He's blasted it over the top of Kasper Schmeichel's crossbar. Having hesitated in his run-up, he's blown it. And we're in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and it remains 0-0.
Well, it's an awful penalty. He's had a very, very straight run-up. Staggered with his run. He sent Schmeichel the wrong way, but just hit it far too high, glazed it over the bar. What an opportunity spurned.
Extraordinary drama at the end of the opening 45 minutes for Peru. It's been 36 years waiting for a goal. The wait will go on a little longer. We are into 2 minutes of added time, and we've already had 90 seconds of it. Immediately Denmark are at the other end. Jorgensen on that far side, and the ball spins out of play despite the efforts of Miguel Trauco and also of Edison Flores, and it will be a corner for Denmark on the right. It was a great decision using VAR. It was a correct decision using VAR. However, the penalty's been missed by Peru. Can Denmark capitalise? Last few seconds of the first half. Eriksson on the right-hand side with a corner. Right-footed, swings it towards the edge of the box, and the header is over the top of the crossbar by Poulsen. He gave away the penalty that was subsequently missed, and then he almost went up the other end and gave Denmark the advantage on the stroke of half-time. But it goes wide and out of play. And we've had the 2 minutes of added time here. Well, there may be some contention over a challenge by Rodriguez on Simon Kjær inside the penalty area. There's a real shove on him as Poulsen goes up to win the header. In fact, there's plenty of off-the-ball contact there, David.
Well, they were going down like dominoes. Very hard to sort that one out. But a penalty, what a waste. What a shame as well, because you'd have to say, well, based on their first 20 minutes and how they came out, possibly deserved the goal. And you'd fancy Quaver. I mean, that's his speciality. Set pieces, dead balls, penalty. It just shows you, though, when it comes to it on this occasion, as I know myself, it's very, very difficult.
It was an atrocious spot kick. Worse than yours, I hasten to add. All those years ago in 2002, we were talking about it pre-game today, and there we go. Half-time whistle then from our referee, Bakary Gassama. The drama comes in stoppage time at the end of the first half. VAR rule a penalty for Peru, but it's missed by Christian Cueva, and it means we're deadlocked at half-time in Saransk here in Group C, where it remains Peru 0, Denmark 0.
And all the Peru players are surrounding Cueva, and they're trying to put their arms around him and lift him. Tears in his eyes. I think he's wiping his eyes with his shirt. Not a great penalty, has to be said, and that's an understatement. This evening is Croatia against Nigeria in Group D. Earlier in that group, Argentina were held 1-1 by Iceland. We'll hear at half-time from the Iceland keeper who saved Messi's penalty. In Group C, France beat Australia 2-1 in the first game of the day. Tomorrow's highlights feature two favourites for this 2018 FIFA World Cup. It's when Brazil...
my love, then gave it back. It's yours to leave, but it won't keep me from this heart attack. And I'll try to carry on again, but I never really knew that it was the way. till I come home. Dream of something sweet. I won't be there soon to wake you so discreet.
Such gusto. I think there's nothing left to perform in the 90 minutes afterwards. If that was the case, they are wholehearted in everything they do, and Cueva is clearly rattled by that penalty miss. Here's Sisto for Denmark, 25 yards out from goal in a central position. He pushes it out wide to this right-hand side, where Sisto then picks it up again. Here's Delaney at the edge of the box. He's got support wide on the left from Stryger Larsen. He'll go back to Sisto again, who thinks about a shot but then lifts it towards Jorgensen. No offside flag as Jorgensen puts the ball out of play, but then I think eventually the flag has been waved and it will be a free kick for Denmark.
Yeah, just gone a bit early there. Good line though from Peru, got up very well. Ball into the box from Sisto. The problem Denmark has, they don't really have a natural lefty out on that left-hand side. Larsen likes to come in onto his right foot, so play always normally goes back. Then it's an in-swinging ball, quite easy to defend for Peru. They've lacked real penetration down that left, haven't very rarely got to the byline.
Both these sides in their 5th World Cup finals in their history. We mentioned it before the game, and Adrian was certainly talking about 1986 when the Danes were quite majestic. They shone in Mexico. They beat Uruguay 6-1 that tournament, and they beat West Germany as well. Did have a loss though against Spain. It's their record World Cup loss, actually. They lost by 5-1 on that occasion. And actually, for the early part of that game, with a better side, till a mistake by Jasper Olsen, remember him? And actually, it's called doing a Jasper if you make a mistake in Denmark now in a general form of life. So he's clearly not lived that one down, despite the fact it was 32 years ago. We've had 3 minutes of the second half here on TalkSport. Third game of the day for us. Peru 0, Denmark 0 right now. Earlier today, France beat Australia in this group, Group C, by 2-1. And Argentina were held by Iceland on their debut in a World Cup. That finished 1-1, and we've had a missed penalty here. We had a missed penalty there as well, or a save penalty, as Lionel Messi failed from the spot. There's a free kick, which will be Denmark's here, 10 yards inside the Peruvian half. Yoshimar Yotun is the player that's been penalised for the foul on the substitute, Lasse Schöne. And it's another opportunity for Denmark to try and advance towards the edge of the penalty area, because, well, really, Pedro Gallese has been almost a spectator in this game. Out wide to the left. Here come Delaney, and supporting him is Sisto. Again, he's further back than the fullback, who has advanced ahead of him. And Sisto then has to go infield to Schöne. Schöne towards the edge of the penalty area, and Jorgensen can't hold it up, and it spins away from Eriksson. And here's Cueva now, who sets the ball away down the right-hand side, charges on towards the edge of the penalty area. Farfan's done well, gets the shot away, but it's blocked because there was enough pace there in Thomas Delaney to block him off.
He done well there, Cueva. Lovely little ball into the channel. Farfan, as you say, did have the pace. Maybe he could have done something else, so took the shot on, difficult angle. Maybe could have worked it back in towards goal.
He's not a slouch for 33, Farfan, is he? He's still got plenty of running in his legs.
Well, he's one of those players that has a real burst of speed, but I just wonder if he can sustain it over 90. I'm sure we'll see Guerra at some point.
Here's Poulsen lifting that inside the box towards Jorgensen. Nearly broke towards Eriksson, who was 12 yards out and thinking about getting the shot away. And in the end, the shot does come in high over the top of the bar from Striger Larsen. It was decent play that time by Poulsen. The little flick from Jorgensen was towards Eriksson around the penalty spot, but again, really good defending and well swept up by Alberto Rodriguez.
Excellent defending. I think it was Avincula in the end who got the foot in. Jorgensen, I wonder whether he could have taken that touch rather than flicking it, maybe taking a touch, worked the ball a bit like Aguero did today. Received it, shifted it onto his left maybe.
Terrific finish last night from Diego Costa, wasn't it? Proper. You kind of saw what Chelsea have been missing in what Diego Costa had to offer for Spain last night in what was undoubtedly the game of the tournament. Some describing one of the greatest games in a World Cup. Here comes Sisto charging forward down the left-hand side. Just got the beating that time of Advincula. Has the ball on his right foot, looking to cut infield, 35 yards from goal. Finds Eriksson, who's towards the edge of the penalty area. Eriksson ball at feet, and the Great Dane just tries to turn and looks to work a shot away, but in the end it comes to Lasse Schöne, out to the right-hand side where Dalsgaard is there, towards the edge of the box. Poulsen goes down under the challenge. There's no foul, and the ball spins out of play, and well, they say it's taken a deflection off Flores here, and it'll be a corner for Denmark on this right-hand side.
Well, again, when Eriksson
he's given the free kick, actually.
I think he is out wide here. It did look like a foul.
It is. Poulsen was the player that went down, and the free kick conceded that time by Trauco, and well, this is dangerous again because Eriksson can deliver from here.
Well, he can, but that man Eriksson, they've got to him again round the edge of the box really, really well. Jotun and Tapia, they've snuffed out any danger.
7 minutes into the second half on TalkSport. Peru 0, Denmark 0 in Group C. Delaney's come forward. The free kick is probably about 14 yards out from goal, but it's a yard to the right of the penalty area. So Eriksson will be looking to sweep this ball in. They do have a height advantage. There's 5 red shirts all lurking in and around the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a 2-man wall as well put up by Peru. The referee just going to have a word with Advincula, I think. Alcarillo actually, who's battling hard with Christensen at the back of the 6-yard box. Here's Eriksson from out wide on the right-hand side. He whips it in low. It's a poor delivery and then gets a shot away with his left foot when the ball cannoned out to him. That's really not high quality from Christian Eriksen. You would expect so much more, David Connolly.
Absolutely. Dreadfully disappointing ball in, especially with their height advantage. You just looked at Carrillo there, marking Christensen. There must be a good foot in it. If not, it's very close. Christensen towers over Carrillo. Just hang it up to the back post. Just leave it there. Let him come and attack it. Instead, he hits the first man. Just not good enough from Eriksson.
It's the first ever meeting between these two sides. I mentioned previously the record against Europeans in competition's not great for Peru. And actually, it's been pretty good for Denmark against South American opposition. Particularly as we mentioned that thrashing of Uruguay back in 1986. Our greatest ever win in a World Cup competition. Not going to be repeating that today, that's for sure. It's a tight game. 9 minutes into the second half, Peru 0, Denmark 0, and it's Denmark who have the throw midway inside the Peru half on this right-hand side. Be taken by Dalsgaard again, back towards Kjær on halfway. He goes infield and he finds Thomas Delaney. So I mentioned a fairly Irish name for Delaney, but his family departed Ireland in the 19th century for America, but he was brought up in Denmark, and he's been a real find for them. He's been excellent in the Bundesliga this season as well. And Brighton were showing a little bit of interest in signing him, but it's Borussia Dortmund who's won the race for his signature. Talking about a race, Advincula on the far side, the fastest player in the world apparently, quicker than Gareth Bale via the speed gun. It's not a self-claim, it's one that's been proven. He's lost possession here for Peru, and a chance for Denmark to try and win it back, and it's broken quite nicely at the far edge of the penalty area for them. Poulsen's in the box as Jorgensen lifts it in towards him and Eriksson, but it's safely into the arms of Pedro Gallese, and immediately looking to counter here. Infield it goes. Josimar Yotun out wide to the left-hand side, and Christian Cueva, the man who missed the penalty, coming forward for Peru towards the edge of the penalty area. Has it again on this near side. Got plenty of white shirts around, and they just give the ball short out wide on this left-hand touchline. And it's picked up again by Yotun, who goes back inside his own half to the captain today, Alberto Rodriguez, who's only played 6 games for his club in 2018. Such has been the injury problems that Rodriguez has had. Here again, it's picked up down the left-hand side by Cueva gets the ball across field to Carrillo, helping it on its way. It's a team that's crying out for their talisman Guerrero, that's for sure. Here's Carrillo again, gets the support on the right from Advíncula. Carrillo and him combine nicely. Delaney's in close attention, gets a decent footing to force them back towards halfway, but they're keeping the ball. Tapia has it now, going on a charge towards the edge of the penalty area. Lovely turn around the corner. Here's a chance maybe for Cueva in the box. Can he redeem himself? Gets it square. Carrillo slips over as he tries to hit the shot. And in the end, the final effort from the edge of the 6-yard area from Flores goes wide. The build-up play was superb. Cueva, though, was in an offside position. The flag didn't come. I'm sure had the goal gone in, though, it would have been ruled out. But that's better from Peru.
Much better. But Cueva, I don't know why he just didn't get his shots off. Done ever so well, ran in behind Poulsen, who completely switched off. Giger went to ground, then he's just got to unleash. I don't know why he tries to find Carrillo. It was a poor pass to him in the end, too heavy, too much in front. Another wasted opportunity. Look, they haven't had the ball that much, have they? You'd say, in the game, Peru, but they've had the better opportunities, that's for sure.
Edison Flores, his touch there wasn't the best. He's known as Ears, Edison Flores. I think on our monitor we just got a close-up and we're certainly shown why.
Well, Cueva did the hard part. He ducked inside really well. Then he's just got to unleash, get a shot off.
Here's Jorgensen out wide on the right-hand side for Denmark. Gets the cross inside the box towards Sisto. It's dealt with by Advíncula on that far side. Carrillo then will chase out and put some pressure on striker Larsen, who's got the better of him quite easily. Sisto here towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got support from Schöne. He goes towards Jorgensen in the penalty area, though. But the cross again was really poor and easily dealt with by Alberto Rodriguez.
Well, to me, that's where Denmark are falling down. Look, that left-hand side, they don't have a right footer, so the left-back's right-footed, Sisto's right-footed, so whenever they get it, they do want to duck back inside. It just means that any cross delivering coming in is so easy for Peru to defend. I feel they might need some natural width out there.
Well, they've only kept 2 clean sheets in their 18 World Cup qualifiers, but they look really comfortable here against Denmark to Peru.
Well, they do, because the system they're playing, the 4-2-3-1, means that every time Denmark come back inside, they just bottled it up with Tapia and Yotun and the centre-halves. They're coming back into Peru's bodies. What they need to do is go down the line.
13 minutes into the second half on TalkSport. Peru 0, Denmark 0. Game 3 of our 4-game day here on TalkSport. Every one of them back-to-back throughout the day. No need to move. As coming forward is Carrillo. Out wide on the right-hand side is Advíncula. Carrillo, though, just cut inside and worked his way into trouble where there were 3 or 4 red shirts, whereas the obvious option would have been to go wide to the rampaging fullback Advíncula, who had a little bit of space and green grass to play in. But now on the counter, Denmark coming forward, and all of a sudden it's 3 against 3. Eriksson sips it through to Poulsen. Poulsen in the box, and Poulsen scores! And Denmark have the lead. A devastating counter-attack for the Danes. And it's Poulsen who's on target. And Peru are made to pay for that penalty miss in the first half. It's Peru 0, Denmark 1.
Well, one man you can't leave unmarked, that's Christian Eriksen. They're attacking down one end, Peru. Give the ball away, really poor decision-making from Carrillo. It has to go wide to Advíncula instead. Ball breaks, there's Eriksen, drive with the ball straight through the heart of the Peru defence. Lovely little slip ball out into the full-back areas where Advíncula should be. He isn't. Poulsen makes no mistake. One touch to set himself. Lovely little side-foot finish at the near post with his left.
It's a 5th international goal for Yusuf Juraj Poulsen. Comfortably placed beyond Pedro Gallese into the bottom corner and giving Denmark the lead. It was a devastating counter-attack. 3-on-3 they found themselves, and the weight of the pass from Eriksen was just, but he's been quiet throughout the game. His delivery from set pieces have been poor, and then all of a sudden that little bit of magic.
Well, he's been quiet because he's been really well marked by Tapia and Yotun, but that time they were so stretched, Peru. There was no one near, no one in contact, no one close enough. That's the problem. Can't give a player like him that sort of room. They've done it ever so well for what, 60 minutes? Switched off for once, and that's it. That's what he does. He can punish you.
Here they come though, Peru trying to respond here. Cueva through the middle, lovely chance! Schmeichel with a great save, he denies Flores, who hits the shot from around about 12 yards out. In the air, Schmeichel just plucks it out, doesn't get hold of it, and they come again for a second time. Advíncula, 25 yards from goal, looks wide to the right-hand side where Carrillo is there. Here is Carrillo. Maybe the game's going to open up a little bit more now as he swings that one towards the back post. Schörner's there to try and hack it clear. And down this near side, ball's gone out of play and it will be a Danish throw. I think Schörner claiming that he didn't commit a foul, which was what was being wanted by Edison Flores. Almost got themselves level.
Well, it's a good response, wasn't it, from Peru? You'd have to say, though, it's at a nice, comfortable height for Schmeichel. If he keeps that low, he might have a chance. Instead, it's sort of shoulder width or chest height. Good response, though. But you'd have to say, what a fantastic finish from Poulsen, wasn't it? One touch, set himself really well. And then to spot the gap at the near post with his left. Fantastic.
Wasn't that the difference? A great finish from Poulsen and a rather tame effort from Flores that, yes, he got an angle on it, but no power at all in that effort from Edison Flores. As I mentioned, he plays his football in Denmark for Aalborg. Had a chance really to make his mark, but really not enough power in the effort, and Schmeichel with a good save.
I mean, just wonder, we spoke at the start, and thinking about England as well, whether they go and play with two strikers. I would have liked to have seen maybe Peru go with two strikers here. That's the formation, the system that they actually had a lot of success in, playing 4-4-2, Guerrero and Farfan. He left Guerrero on the bench, he's going to come on now, but it'd be nice to see him maybe from the beginning.
Well, this is the moment that people have been marching through the streets of Lima to ensure happened. It is Paulo Guerrero. He'll come on to replace Edison Flores. As I mentioned, he's their talisman. A biopic about him back in 2016 has had the highest grossing weekend figures for a film ever in Peru about Guerrero. He's the hero. He had a 12-month ban, of course, after cocaine was found in a random drugs test, which he claims came from drinking some tea. The ban was appealed against and extended to 14 months after they felt 12 months was too lenient. But then, as I mentioned, there were protests through Lima. Each of the three captains of Denmark, France and Australia all wrote to the Court of Arbitration in Switzerland to say, actually, can you not suspend the final 2 months of this punishment? Let him appeal against it.